The news in full. Two persons have been reported dead after gunmen launched yet another attack in Ahiara community of Ahiazu Mbese local government area of Imo State. A video circulating on social media from the incident shows a police officer and a civilian lying lifeless at the scene. A local in the community told newsmen that earlier on Monday, the gunmen attacked the police patrol team while they were buying fuel at a filling station in the local government, killing the DPO and some other officers in an attempt to enforce their usual Monday sit at home. When contacted, the police public relations officer Henry Okoye said they were at the said local government with the Commissioner of Police CP Lenjuma Aboki over the matter at the time of filing this report. He said the command is yet to get the full details of the incident, but will make them public once they gather enough information. Now, joining us live via Zoom, we have Daily Trust reporter from Imo, Ajibade Press, to give us an update. Hello, Ajibade. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Now, what can you tell us concerning this attack? Is the killing in any way related to the sit-at-home observed on Mondays?
Yes, I will say yes. It does and will will say to be relating to the sit-at-home enforcement, because for over some time now in the state, the session taken over Mondays in Imo State. In fact, economic activity on Mondays in Imo State is always crippled, and this is as a result of their constant warning to every Imolite to stay at home on a Monday like this. This has been on for over some time now, and CP Danjuma Aboki, upon its posting to Imo State, had launched a kind of a campaign to actually put a stop to that. It's been to several markets in the state. It's doing a local government tour around the state to various kings and as well as the local government chairman to see a way to actually stop that particular trend, because it's of course crippling economic activity in the state. On a day earlier on, from what I gathered from locals of Ahiara Junction, where that particular incident occurred, was that these policemen were actually on patrol, which is part of the promises CP Danjuma made, that there will be enough patrol on Mondays like this to ensure there is enough security around for people to come out and do their business, because the fear of the people is that whenever they come out to try to do their business, disobeying the sit-at-home order, they might be attacked. And as such, he has provided a security patrol team to go around ensuring they provide enough security. But unlucky of them today, they were attacked while they were trying to buy fuel at the filling station.
All right, Ajibade Press is Daily Trust reporter in Imo State. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and we hope you will keep us updated as some information continue to develop.
Most definitely.
All right. Now moving on. The gunmen who abducted 9 residents of GRA community in Impapa town under Buari Area Council in the FCT last Wednesday have released one of their female victims on Friday, demanding her to facilitate the ransom of her family. Trust TV returned to the community. The report.
The released victim, Aisha Peter, who is the wife to the chief of the community, was earlier abducted by the gunmen numbering about 30 alongside her husband, David Peter, as well as their 3 children. 4 other residents were also abducted during the attack that started some minutes to 9 p.m. of the fateful day.
The next thing we had is gunshot, bam, and we know that it's kidnapper. We just say it's kidnapper. So we have to run out of the main house to the backyard. We run and go and hit there as we're hiding. And my spirit said we should follow the back door and run. And when we were about to run, we still hear another gunshot at the back again. We have no option than to hide inside the place. We are just praying that God should help us. me, my husband, my children, and that is how they enter this. They from this fence they break all this hook for the fence and they jump and enter and open.
The return of some victims have created panic in the community, as family of the abducted persons are still worried on how to raise the said 50 million naira ransom demanded by the kidnappers.
But the chief wife say they give us 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, if they did not pay money to those people, that they will come here times 2, times 3 of that time, because those people they up to 25, 27. That and if 3 people, if they be times 2 now, times 3 now, nobody will do this environment.
But this is not the first time, not the second time that they will enter this environment. So this one is very terrible because 2 of my neighbors was shot that day and the 2 of them died. So everybody with the environment now, nobody's safe now. As at now, we are not safe.
Trust TV findings reveal that a resident who sustained a gunshot injury during the attack died the following day at an Abuja hospital, raising the number of casualties to 2 persons.
In another development, operatives of the Nigeria Police and those of the Department of State Services neutralized a 3-man robbery gang in Enugu on Sunday. The gang specialized in robbing point-of-sale POS operators. Police spokesman in Enugu State, DSP Daniel Ndoke, stated that the gang members were neutralized in a gun duel, after which arms and ammunition and their operational tricycles were recovered from them. 2 locally made pistols, 6 rounds of 0.9 mm caliber ammunition, and 500,000 in cash were also recovered from the gang. In the meantime, no fewer than 5 suspected members of the Aye and Alura confraternities have been arrested in the Sagamu and Sango-Ota areas of Ogun State through multiple raids conducted by men of the State Police Command and the Ogun State Community Social Orientation and Safety Corps. Police, in an exclusive interview on Sunday, said the suspects were planning to unleash terror on the residents of the communities before they were arrested on Friday and Saturday. Residents of the Ntambo Ijoku area of the state had been thrown into palpable fear after they received intelligence that the community might be attacked by suspected cultists on Saturday. A police inspector attached to the Kebbi State Command has died following a lone accident involving a police vehicle conveying officers on investigative duties. Police spokesperson Nafio Abubakar said in a Sunday statement that the crash occurred along Koko-Jaka Road after a tire burst, causing the Toyota Land Cruiser to flip 3 times into a roadside bush. According to Abubakar, 10 officers, including a senior superintendent, were traveling for a crime scene visit in Koko Bese local government under ACP Suleiman Sade when the rear tire failed around the NNPC location in Koko. Now, in Kano State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 7 people in connection with illegal political protest across Kano metropolis. Addressing a news conference, CP Muhammad Gumel says the command has gathered intelligence that some people are trying to use the media in sending negative information against the police. The CP warned that the command will not tolerate any protest from members of any political party in Kano.
There are additional revealing intelligence reports that these faceless opposition groups are planning to embark on mass protest designed to breach the peace and cause destruction of lives and property in the state. But our police and sister security agencies are on top of the situation. Currently, we have mapped out strategy on how to deal with any such plan for bringing restraints in the state. The police commando is by this press release warning anyone or person found engaging in activities that are capable of breaching the peace and the peaceful atmosphere that is being enjoyed in the state. Going forward, this category of people are advised to desist from doing so because the police will not hesitate to arrest and prosecute them.
Now, the disconnect between government and town planners has been identified as the major cause of Nigeria's prevailing urban settlement crisis. These and many more were the focal point of discourse at the 6th Doso Babatunde annual lecture with the theme Issues and Prospects in Physical Planning and Human Settlement Development, held at the Polytechnic Ibadan. Speakers at the lecture charged government at all levels to adopt strategic planning of rural settlements, which they say is a necessary tool for national development.
Because people are already thinking that GIS is replacing, GIS is the Geographic Information System, is now replacing planning. No, it's not replacing planning. Planning is something that comes from the knowledge of great thinkers, from the philosophy and visions of great thinkers of how a city should look. You had the guest speaker telling you understand that if you take Lagos State, for example, Lagos State is the smallest state in terms of land size in Nigeria, but it has the largest population. And he said Lagos has been divided into 40 districts. And if you take ShopRite being in one district, you expect that there is ShopRite or similar facilities in every single of the 40 districts that you have in Lagos. That is the power of planning.
For there to be development, there must be a handshake between the government and the town planner. The government must understand what the town planner is talking about. Because if they don't understand, they will not be able to implement it. And the beauty of any plan is its implementation.
If you talk of housing deficit, you will see that it's all boiled down to issue of not having proper and adequate planning. In some areas, some school of thought will argue that, quite frankly, we don't have housing deficits.
Now, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) has halted all wait-list aircraft operated by United Nigeria Airlines (UNA) shortly after one of its planes on Sunday diverted to Asaba International Airport instead of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport (NAIA) Abuja. Following the incident on Sunday, reports surfaced that the Director General of Civil Aviation (DGCA) Musa Nuhu summoned an emergency meeting of the agency. At the meeting, it was decided that the airline's explanation was not acceptable to the authorities. The airline ascribed the diversion to unfavorable weather in a statement signed by the head corporate communications, Eklus Chut Ochibo. However, specialists in the aviation sector disproved the assertion, stating that weather reports are sent to airlines or pilots every half an hour. This is Trust TV News Update. Coming up ahead. Youth urged to explore agriculture to battle economic hardship. Details of that and more after the break. Stay with us.
We started manufacturing leather since 1958. But the most important thing is that if the system is checked correctly, we won't have where we are now.
If somebody has depression, they may just be very irritable and unproductive in the office. So you find on average already about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 Nigerians already have mental illness, a mental health condition that needs some form of attention.
No matter how good an economy is, if the federal government goes bust, believe me, everything in the economy is just a matter of time it will go bust. So first of all, about maybe slightly above, below 70% is in federal government securities.
If government has banned importation of fertilizer and states are doing it at the level of governance, but I believe that production and distribution of fertilizer should be left to the private sector.
This is the general multi-purpose card and it has a chip here. So this chip is about 80 kilobytes. The one that you get from the bank for ATM is just 4 kilobytes. So this is like 20 times.
Why did you develop this reputation as somebody who is difficult to work with?
I will tell the truth. No matter whose ox is gored, I will say exactly how it is.
This is where I actually sympathize with commissioners of nowadays, where a commissioner sometimes is just a picture. You find somebody, even a cleaner and the governor's wife, can interfere with their abilities.
Even the ministers, there are very many who respected me, simply because I never complained about them. I never went to ask for a favor. Never.
So none of that has happened?
Nothing.
But if it hasn't happened, do you have hope that now another government coming in?
There is no hope.
So you've given up on
given
politics?
I've given up. It's gone, it's gone.
Retrenchment from work is the most hated thing by unions. It's loss of job means that is loss of life, in fact, for civil servants at that time.
Nigeria's economy, Nigeria's security, Nigeria's intelligence. This is what the materials we were handling. And I thought government would be very interested.
The reasons why you adopted federalism is not because of finesse, not because you like it. It's because of its functional utility.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV, and here is a recap of some of our top stories. 2 dead in Imo as gunmen engage police in shootout. And police inspector dies as 9 others injured in Kebbi motor accident. Now to other stories. Religious leaders and worshippers in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, has called on the federal government to leap up to its obligation by making things easy for Christians to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The call became necessary as few weeks to the Christmas, yet the price of commodities like rice, meats, beans, onion, tomatoes, and even the premium motor spirit popularly known as fuel, which is said to be the major reason for the increase of commodities, are still high. Our Trust TV correspondent Friday Ebimoboyi Peter has the details on this report.
Moses Etume and Pastor Taye Akpowo Mano call on Christians to reflect on God's goodness upon their lives. They, however, call on the federal government to regulate the price of commodities in order for Christians to celebrate the Christmas handsomely.
Everybody should have a sober reflection on what God has done for each and every one of us. Because it is only those who think that can thank God. When you think of what He has done for you, that is when you can be able to appreciate Him. While we are looking towards the celebration of the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, which is a gift for humanity, for our salvation. Okay, one of the major things is that every government, they have policies. You know, most of the government, when they make policies, they don't follow up. If not, there are policies that regulate price of things. Let's say, for example, the price of fuel. It is government that regulates. So also, if government can also regulate the price of commodity, then we will be able to enjoy the Christmas very well.
For who He is, and to appreciate God for what He has done for us, and to appreciate God for what He is about to do, because God is faithful. If we think of what God has done for us, He needs to be appreciating.
Worshippers call on Christians to be contented and celebrate the Christmas within their means and not to allow the economic situation of the country compromise their faith.
We beg governor, presidents to just make things possible for us to celebrate the Christmas because of the price of things to cost, like rice, like groundnut oil, everything, and our salary. They reach us to buy anything. Then maybe they receive 50,000 as salary. The salary now we go for rice. Now wait till you go fit carry buy for your children. And so they beg, make them bring the things down. So if we celebrate the Christian, we celebrate the Xmas. Advice to Christian in the world should know that anything you are celebrating, God first. Without God, you cannot celebrate the Xmas that is coming up.
We should not look at the economic of the country. Whatever God bless you with, be content with what God has given to you. Don't sell your body or don't compromise to the world because of the pleasure of the world, but rather honor God in everything.
In most festive season, a lot of young girls are indulged in immoral activities to meet up with the Christmas celebration. From Yenagoa, Friday, Ibmobowi Peter. Frost TV News, Yenagoa.
Now, the growing trend among educated Benue youth in recent times is milling around politicians. According to agricultural experts, these youth are wasting their productive years in unproductive ventures. Jimmy Azandi reports.
They said with the absence of adequate manufacturing outfits in the state, many youths of the graduate cadre have become a liability to themselves and to their benefactors. This trend is attributed to ignorance occasioned by orientation factors.
And the idle mind, the devil's workshop. So these guys, some of them are actually educated, but they don't have jobs. So they flock politicians, as a way of getting crumbs from the table to make ends meet. So I won't totally condemn it because I'll see them as the victims of the kind of society we have, kind of government we have. So while I'm saying it's not the right way to self-develop, I'm looking at how do we create options.
The available option in Benue, they said, is to tap into the huge agricultural potentials of the state. The forebears of the state who earned had a food basket status, their opinion were farmers.
There's no business that can give you money like farming. Politics, it's a waste of time to myself. I believe in farming more than any other business because there is no business that will give you what farm will give you, as far as I'm concerned.
Because this is the time for farming, and we need the young people. In the farm, we need young people more than the way the politicians they need them. Because after politics, we have to eat. So we need to take them back to farm so that they'll be able to produce what even the politicians they will eat. If youth happens to know the value of farming, they will know that even the politician depends on this farming.
With the current economic climate in the country, the agricultural experts said the Benue land needs more tilling for business by the youth, irrespective of their educational qualifications. Engaging the land they submitted is the only way to break the ugly trend of milling around politicians for handouts. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
In another development, the federal government is building a 900 kWp solar mini-grid in Robochi town of Kuje Area Council of the FCT after 10 years without a power source. The Rural Electrification Agency REA of the Korean Energy Project is overseeing the isolated mini-grids. The project will change the socio-economic standing of the populace. According to the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, who was speaking at the groundbreaking event, the Assistant Director Renewable and Rural Energy Access, Samuel Ayengio, represented Adelabu. Adelabu, who said energy poverty is a problem that affects many countries on the continent, however, added that Nigeria has a special history that has led the nation through several stages of development to alleviate the problems facing the energy sector. And now away from Nigeria, daily life resumed amid heavy security presence in the Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, on Monday, as the government partially lifted a curfew imposed after armed clashes erupted in the city. Early on Sunday, armed assailants stormed a military armory and several prisons, sparking battles with security forces that lasted for hours in the capital. Sierra Leone has been going through a political crisis following elections in June. On Monday, the government lifted the daytime curfew that it had imposed and urged people to resume their daily lives while remaining vigilant. It said a curfew will remain in place between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. In Freetown, some stores and banks opened and traffic had restarted on Monday, but schools remained shut. Checkpoints had been set up on the main roads where members of the security forces were searching vehicles. No death toll from the violence nor any information on those arrested has been officially released. Still on the international news, the truce between Israel and Hamas entered its final 24 hours on Monday, with the militant group saying it was willing to extend the pause after it freed more hostages, including a 4-year-old opened by its attack. The pause had begun Friday, has been dozens of hostages freed, with over 100 Palestinian prisoners released by Israel in return. Attention now has turned to whether the truce will be extended before its scheduled end early on Tuesday morning. Hamas has signaled its willingness to extend the truce. Under the truce, 50 hostages held by the militants were to be freed over 4 hours in exchange for 150 Palestinian prisoners. And with that, we have come to the end of the Trust TV News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching and bye for now.